got my coffee. Wait. And we're rolling. Hello and welcome to another video. And in this video, we're doing our March TBR. So excited. So excited. Let me give you a little backstory about what's happening. Also prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me with this angle. Because this is my favorite angle of all time now. And you just can't take it away from me. So welcome to our new favorite angle until it's not. And it's also really cold out. I caught myself doing this in the morning on a day that is 20 degrees but feels like 8. So joke's on me. But I'm so dedicated to this angle. And so I faced my van where the sun is beaming down, but also where like everyone can see me recording. And that's fine. Usually I face away from the crowd, but now we have to do towards the crowd because coldness. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about our March TBR, the books that we want to read in March that I've been so excited for since mid-February. It's like as soon as I get a new list of books in my head, the current list of books is out the window. But I did finish them. At least I finished all the ones on my TBR, plus one, minus one, plus one new one, minus one original pick. Anyway, if you want to see that video, you can go see it. So last month I had 26 books from Black authors, like Black stories. But before then, I also had some books that I had out from the library. So this current month's TBR is a mix of that. Still delving into 20 plus books that I have checked out from the library from my last 2 times. Last month we did a mixture of fantasy, contemporary romance, historical fiction, thriller, and I aim to do that this month as well. And there's also a fantasy series in this one as well. So I'm really excited. And I'm more excited for this fantasy series than I was about the last duology that I read, which was A River of Royal Blood and The Queen of Gilded Horns. It was a YA fantasy that I just wanted to dip my foot into for this series. And since I finished that duology and was really excited about this series, I'm going to tell you really in 30 seconds, I kept hearing so many good things about it. So without further ado, and me keep saying fantasy series, here's what I'm reading. Or more importantly, here's what I want to read. It is the Broken Earth series by N.K. Jemisin. We have 3 books here in the trilogy because it's a trilogy. You know, I just like saying words all meaning the same thing. But anyway, I forget what order this goes in. Hold on. The first book in the series is the 5th season. The second is the Obelisk Gate, and the third is the Stone Key. I'm not going to read all of the description because I think it gives away from the first book, but I will read the first one. This is the way the world ends again. 3 terrible things happen in a single day. Soon, a woman living an ordinary life in a small town comes home to find that her husband has brutally murdered their son and kidnapped their daughter. Meanwhile, mighty Sanzi, the world-spanning empire whose innovations have been civilization's bedrock for 1,000 years, collapses as most of the citizens are murdered to serve a madman's vengeance. And most of all, across the heart of the vast continent known as the Stillness, a great red rift that has been torn into the heart of the earth, spewing ash enough to darken the sky for years or centuries. Now, Isun must pursue the wreckage of her family through a deadly dying land. Without sunlight, clean water, or arable land, and with limited stockpiles of supplies, there will be war across the Stillness. A battle royale of nations, not for power or territory, but simply for the basic resources necessary to get through the long, dark night. Isun does not care if the world falls apart around her. She'll break it herself if she must, to save her daughter. I'm excited for that series. I'm gonna do a video solely on reading the series, so stay tuned for that. I don't know why, but I'm just so ready to delve into like more fantasy. And like I only want to read fantasy that has a beginning and an end. If it's open-ended, I don't want to open up the first book. So this is a finished series, so we're doing it. We're gonna go into the romances next. We have A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Now, this is a timey-wimey book. A timey-wimey book, meaning there's a love through past, present, and future. And I love a timeline that is timey-wimey like that, especially when it comes to love. I also want to do a solo video for this book as well, but I'm also, again, not sure. But I'm not sure. But I'm really excited to read this one. So Author Tia Williams is an author that I have on my TBR with, yes, this one, but also 7 Days in June, which is another like romance story. I think it's also timey-wimey. I'm not sure, but it was on my list before a love song for Ricky Wilde, but the cover itself made me really, really want to read it. We're going to go to our mighty phone for the explanation because holding that book is too cold. The books are too cold. All right. An epic love story 100 years in the making. Leap years are a strange, enchanted time, and for some, even a single February can be life changing. Ricky Wilde has many talents, but being a Wilde isn't one of them. As the impulsive artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the Ricky is a girl. I thought Ricky was a man this entire time. Oh, you tell yourself that you're woke. And then you do this. As the impulsive artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the opposite of her famous socialite sisters. Where they're long stemmed roses, she's a dandelion, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed, born to float wherever the wind blows. In her bones, Ricky knows that somewhere a different, more exciting life awaits her. When regal nonagenarian, when a regal nonagenarian, sure, Miss Della invites her to rent the bottom floor of her Harlem brownstone. Ricky jumps at the chance for a fresh beginning. She leaves behind her family, wealth, and chaotic romantic decisions to realize her dream of opening a flower shop. And just beneath the surface of her new neighborhood, the music, stories, and dazzling drama of the Harlem Renaissance still simmers. One evening in February, as the heady, curiously off-season scent of night blooming jasmine fills the air, Ricky encounters a handsome, deeply mysterious stranger who knocks her world off balance in the most unexpected way. Set against the backdrop of modern Harlem and Renaissance glamour, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is a swoon-worthy love story of two passionate artists drawn to the magic, romance, and opportunity of New York and whose lives are uniquely and irreversibly linked. Sign me up. Put my name down and dotted line. The next romance we have is Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up. This is by Cherish Reed, and it is about a woman who gets a job as a bartender at a bar that is run by a hot man. But both of them obviously have like their backgrounds that help each other link up or that help each other like along in the plot and in life. Mickey Chambers is an expert at analyzing modern literature, but when it comes to figuring out her own story, she is feeling a little lost. At 33, she's an adjunct professor with a meager summer class schedule and too many medical bills courtesy of her chronic illness. Picking up a bartending gig seems perfect. Sure, Mickey's never done this before, but the gorgeous, grumpy bar owner Diego Acosta might be the perfect man to teach the teacher if he wasn't so stressed. Diego is worried he's running his late wife's bar into the ground. Add add the pressures of returning to college part-time at 42, and it's no wonder he's making rash decisions, like hiring a sunny, sexy woman who looks more at home in a library than slinging beers to rowdy barflies, and who turns out to be teaching his online writing course, a complication neither was expecting. Sign me up. Sign me up. I've been saying this a lot in my reading videos since I started making them only like a month ago, that I want balance in what I read. So I'm not really a mood reader. I just know what stories I want to dive into, and I want to dive into different ones at different times. I don't have to be in the mood for romance to read romance, but if I just came from something heavy, I want to read something to like make myself feel lighter. Is that mood reading? I don't think it's mood reading because it's not. Is it mood reading? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't call it mood reading because the intention of the TBR being picked isn't for. No, it is. All of it's mood reading. Is this all mood reading or am I just stupid? It's planning for the moods that I know I'll be in after reading some stuff. Sure, let's go with that. Next on our TBR, it's a new release, Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray. Never read anything from this writer. I just knew it was a new release. I knew she was Black and I wanted to get into it. And also, it's just a beautiful cover. Y'all know me in covers. We go together like peanut butter and jelly. Handy dandy phone. Sitting in the sun was a good call. My fingers are fine. I was panicking. I was panicking at the thought of just sitting out here like this, and also panicking at the thought that it wouldn't be warm enough sitting in the sun. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. She's helping me out. She's keeping me warm, and we love that. Also, my jewel has been in my boob this entire time. You couldn't even see it. Harlem Rhapsody. The extraordinary story of Jesse Redmond Fawcett, whose exhilarating world of friends, rivals, and passions all combined to create the magic that was the Harlem Renaissance. Okay, so it is a part of. Okay, I get to read two period pieces of the Harlem Renaissance. I'm excited. I don't really know about much about the Harlem Renaissance. Maybe I do, or maybe I'm just forgetting, but I don't remember learning much about it, and so I don't really know or remember much about it. So I'm excited to learn through these like cool stories. Written by Victoria Christopher Murray, New York Times bestselling author of The Personal Librarian. I heard about The Personal Librarian. I think Personal Librarian, I think, is about a book of a woman of color who was white passing, and she was able to be the personal librarian or assistant to, I don't even know if it's a villain or just someone way high up, but she was white passing, and so the story itself is about her, and a story is herself is about her just needing to pretend to be someone she is not simply because her skin color allows her to have to pass as this personal librarian that is beneficial to her, but also deadly if she gets caught. I don't know if I'll put that on my reading list. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But maybe after this, we don't know. We don't know. We can't tell. We don't know the future. In 1919, oh, interesting. I just finished Sula, and that also happened in 1919. I'm definitely like going back into like the 1920s for sure. Like that is where I've been like delving back into for like the past few historical fiction, historical literature, which obviously makes sense, but there just hasn't been anything like there hasn't been anything past that or before that, just in the 1920s itself. Okay. In 1919, a civil and social unrest grips the country. There is a little corner of America, a place called Harlem, where something special is stirring. Here, the new Negro is rising and the Black pride is evident everywhere in music, theater, fashion, and arts. And there on stage in the center of the Renaissance is Jesse Redmond Fawcett, the new literary editor of the preeminent Negro magazine, The Crisis. W.E.B. Du Bois, the founder and editor of The Crisis, has charged her with discovering young writers whose words will change the world. Jesse attacks the challenge with fervor, quickly finding 16-year-old County Cullen, 17-year-old Langston Hughes, and Nella Larson, who becomes one of her best friends. Under Jesse's leadership, The Crisis thrives, and the writers become notable. The writers become notable and magazine subscriptions soar. Every Negro writer in the country wants their work published in the magazine, now known for its groundbreaking poetry and short stories. I'm actually really, really, really excited to read this book now. I told you I knew nothing about it. I just grabbed it because it was black and it was my vibe. And I don't think I'm going to regret that at all. I cannot wait to dive into this book. Because again, I don't know much about these people besides that they existed and they were impactful. And I read some of Langston Hughes' stuff. I read some of W.B. Du Bois's like background, but I don't know much about this, like about the Harlem Renaissance at all. So I'm so excited to dive into that historically, fiction wise, and then romance wise. I'm just, we're here for it. The other books that we have are like thriller ish. We have What Moves the Dead by T. King Fisher. It's very thriller, very weird. When Alex Easton, a retired soldier, receives the word that their childhood friend Madeline Usher is dying, they race to the ancestral home of the Ushers in the remote countryside of Ruritania. What they find there is a nightmare of fungal growth and possessed wildlife surrounding a dark, pulsing lake. Madeline sleeps Madeline sleepwalks and speaks in strange voices at night, and her brother Roderick is consumed by a mysterious malady of the nerves. Aided by a redoubtable British mycologist and a baffled American doctor, Alex must unravel the secret of the house of Usher before it consumes them all. I heard nothing but good things from this book. Also, this is a series. There's one more book after this that I'm excited to read. I just don't have it, and I'm not really like. Maybe I am though. I was about to say I'm not really like yearning to have it, but maybe I do want to finish it just to feel complete. But anyway, thriller-ish, mystery-ish. And then I have The Silent Patient because I really want more thriller. The last thriller I read was My Sister, the Serial Killer, but that was like a thriller satire comedy thing. It was good, but I wanted like something really gripping. I believe this book is about a woman who kills her husband and then just goes silent. Let's confirm that. Alicia Berenson's life is seemingly perfect. A famous painter married to an in-demand fashion photographer. She lives in a grand house overlooking a park in one of London's most desirable areas. One evening, her husband, Gabriel, returns home from work and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. Yep, confirmed. I'm excited. I'm so excited to read this because good for her. Every time I bring this book up, I'm always like, good for her. Whatever it is, I support her. She didn't do it, but apparently she did do it. And then lastly, another small book. It's a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. It's a very short book. It's about what happens when the evil villain is in trouble and she needs like someone to help her out. Zinnia Gray, professional fairy tale fixer and lapsed Sleeping Beauty, is over rescuing snoring princesses. Once you've saved a dozen damsels and burned 50 spindles, once you've gotten drunk with 20 good fairies and made out with one too many members of the royal family, you start to wish some of your girls would just get a grip and try solving their own narratives. No, their own narrative issues. Just when Zinnia is beginning to think she can't handle one more princess, she glances into a mirror and sees another face looking back at her, the shockingly gorgeous face of Evil, asking for her help. Because there's more than one person trapped in a story they didn't choose. Snow White's evil queen has found out how her story ends and she's desperate for a better ending. She needs Zinnia to help her before it's too late for everyone. So this is when the evil villain needs rescuing and not the princesses. Interesting, also very short. And I have a few different retellings of the princesses on my TBR that I'm really excited to get into. And this is just going to help me dip my toe in that world. So I'm excited for that. Also, it's very short. Although I have 9 books, these count as one. So I really only have 8 books. And that is my TBR for March. If you are going to read any of these books, put them, like, comment down below. If you have read any of these books, comment down below. And if you have read some of the backlog of the authors that I have stated who wrote these books I'm going to read for March, let me know as well, because I'm always like ready to like become a fan of a certain author for life. So I love you. I am grateful for you. And I will see you in the next story. Bye.